traders. I trust you are all well, and thanks for joining in. Really appreciate you on a Friday afternoon. Friday evening for some of you. It's Friday afternoon, my time. All right, let's have a look at what the market is presently doing, and then we can talk about a few things. So I've got a few markets that are up. Got US CAD, we are in a bear trend. So if we're looking to jump in, we gotta wait and see whether the bear trend will resume after this pullback. So what I am looking for is to see, are the bears gonna be strong enough, to break out beneath here, like happened up here. There was a breakout and then continuation. So I'm looking to see if that is likely to take place. And if it does, then I'll find ways to get into the market. That's on CAD. On yen. Well, yen is interesting. We had this trading range. The block in the yellow is just the open of the European markets. It doesn't mean much for everyone, but I just want to see when the European markets open and what the market does after that. So we were in a trading range throughout the Asian session, or late part of the Asian session. And if we do this, so pretty prolonged trading range. Then we broke out above it, and this light green line here is the high of yesterday. Bulls broke out above it, confirmed breakout, but then it immediately failed. So you would have been thinking, if the bulls are strong, we will come back and maybe put a high one in a tempo by the bulls to resume, or a test of the EMA or test of that level of support. So it was resistance, good breakout, pretty good for the bulls. Then a pullback, it becomes support, and we'd have been looking to see if an opportunity comes up for us to jump in, but we just failed and essentially went back into the trading range. Down here, bears, good breakout by the bears. So this is a pretty good breakout of this trading range, this small trading range here, but we are within the broader trading range. So we've got to wait and see how strong the bears are. So this kind of a little bit talks to, what I'm referring to on the CAD. If the bears are strong, we want to see what happens with this pullback, whether we'll break out beneath it. You can see what took place here. If the bears are strong and we break out beneath here, then we look for a pullback and hopefully the continuation. Now, why do I say if the bears are strong? Well, like we had up here, bulls were strong enough to break out, but they failed. So bears again may fail. We might just end up the day in some form of trading range. So from the Asian session, gap down, good for the bulls, then trading range. Went back to test the high of the Asian session, did a whole trading range, and now we're back within that. So it's an area of agreement that if the bears are strong, they will need to break out and maybe try and test the low of the day. So worthwhile to keep watching that. S&P 500, my views about US markets. If you get opportunities to do take them, but be very wary if you want to trade through to the US Open, because the volumes tend to change the structure quite a bit of the market. We may still continue to track up, but you might get big candles as the volumes come through, and then the market continue after that. So just be careful with any US trading that you're doing. Sorry, do I have to cover that? Yeah. So just be careful about it. But of course, we are in a bull channel. We broke out above the trading range, and then got into a bull channel. we got to see if we're going to get the bears taken over, coming back to beneath here. If not, we might keep going sideways for maybe a couple of hours or so, and then pull acceleration up again. So it's still, worthy to look at it. New Zealand versus dollar, again with a bull breakout, test of the EMA, bit of a tight trading range, so still strongly bullish. Let us see how it comes back, if it comes back to test the EMA, and if we get an opportunity for the bulls to accelerate up, to be worthwhile to consider that. But we need to see the strength. Okay, although we are going up in a small channel, market could keep going up. The bulls are strong. Their first sign of further strength is to break out above the channel. We pull back, then we look for ways to get into the market. If we break out beneath it, that's bearish strength. We have to wait to see if that's tested, and if it is, then we're going to find ways to go short. Swissy, strong bear channel, and the key now is to wait to see. If you're not in already, if you didn't find a way to get in, if you're in the market, found a way to get in, that's fantastic. But if you're not in, you just got to wait a little bit, because we're starting to get bulls coming in. Wait to see if we get this kind of pullback, maybe to the EMA, and maybe we'll get another double top. Okay, but the selling off is going on pretty prolonged, so we really want to see bear strength before you jump in. We might go sideways as a pullback and then acceleration down, which is fantastic. So it's pretty bearish, but rather than selling at the low of a tight channel, you want to wait to see if you can sell a little bit higher. So this formed just now while we were talking, just as the market started. So there's no need to worry about it. What would be of little concern until we see strength is that little pullback. If the bears are strong, they're going to give us a strong breakout pullback, and then you can look to follow through if you haven't jumped into that. But very bearish and prefer bears. The US markets, so I got 3 US markets here, but S&P 500, Dow Jones, and NASDAQ 100. Now, you do know that there's a big component, of course, of both NASDAQ 100 and Dow Jones in the S&P. You can't really talk about, trying to see what the formula is, but the reason I mentioned that is if you have in those markets on the lookout, you have to find the best setup and just make your call. I'll tell you just now, like I did on a trade on Euro pair, you're going to decide which one to go for. If that works, that works. If that doesn't work, that's fine. So if you're looking at S&P 500, if something sets up and you take it, and then you see something set up on the Dow Jones, and then you see something set up on the NASDAQ, do not take all 3 trades at the same time, unless, of course, you've taken a trade and it's a break even, then you can add on. But if you take all 3 at the same time, you are just increasing your risk in the same market to 3 times. Only way to do that is if you scale back your initial risk. So if you went a third, or quarter, that's perfectly fine. Alternatively, then just wait for the one that you've taken to work, and then you can scale in, and manage your risk like that. Again, all 3 markets, just be wary when you're coming into them because of the US component. Aussie, very strong trading range, and then a bull breakout. First pullback to that, would have been looking to trade would have been here. Didn't quite get to test the EMA. I always like to see the EMA tested, but that's perfectly fine. So if you're taking that trade, that you find you'll have to be managing and break even at this stage in case you don't get the acceleration up. Now, this is Euro Yen. This is interesting. I want to show you guys what I mean about choose the market and see if it works. So Euro Yen down here set up. This was about 20, 30 minutes after the UK Open. There was a setup. We also had setup on the Euro Aussie at the same time. And then the Euro itself, major, also had a setup around there. So, you've got to choose and decide which one you go for. I thought, well, I'm not going for Euro Aussie. So I took the Euro Aussie and immediately it failed. So when it brought up there, immediately failed. So that was a concern. My stop was here. I mean, literally just a hair's breadth away. I thought I'd get stopped out, didn't get stopped out. Then it failed again at the potential double top. So I decided to exit the trade, went up a bit more and it failed. But what's interesting, that's the one that I chose. Made a little bit of money breaking. Had I chosen the Euro yen, I mean, didn't fail immediately like Euro Aussie did, but came tested the EMA and just went up without a pullback. So would have been fantastic. Euro versus the dollar. Had I taken that, failure, but not as big as on Euro Aussie, and went up and came back. And so the point is, I mean, all three set up at the same time. What you don't want to do is, after looking back and saying, oh man, if I had taken all three, yeah, I would have been out at break even one or whatever the case may be, but I would find out the other. That is fine, but then you are forgetting probabilities. It worked, but imagine if you took all three and they didn't work immediately and you were stopped out. That would be a bit of a different problem. So absolutely no problem with where we are at, trading range. Will the market end up like this all day? It is possible. The market can do that, but there are chances that there might be a breakout, maybe to the US session, whatever it comes. So let's wait for opportunities. Same with the Euro Aussie and same with, so the Euro itself is still tracking up. So we're in a bull channel, which is fantastic for the bulls. So if we come back, get a test of the EMA, and if we got a low test candle, so you see this candle here. So if we had that kind of candle testing the low of the channel and the EMA like that, that would be worthwhile to take and see how far it goes. Another currency. So again, get a couple of minutes to go. To be worthwhile to have a look at it after we're gone, if you're in the market, to see what happens. We're at the bottom of the channel. Market is coming down the bottom of the channel. We are at the EMA. Are the bears going to break out strongly beneath here? Or is the market going to fail and give us a low test candle, which we don't, that could be a low test candle. But that's worthwhile to look at within the next minute. Finally, let's have a look at gold. Okay, so for gold, so I was just talking about the market coming back to channels. If we get that kind of candle as a low test candle, that would be worthwhile to take at the bottom of the channel that we had here. So, that's looking pretty decent. But you gotta wait for it to close, right? I quote something there. So you see, it was looking decent, but you gotta wait for the candle to close. If it's not, there's nothing for us to do. All right, guys, thank you very much. So quite a lot of markets that we're looking at, and I didn't get a chance to work through all of them. But thank you for your attendance, and we will see you again next week. Enjoy the weekend. Take care, Marlon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.